Hello guys, we are here with another part of She Friendzoned My Love. In the previous video you saw, after being mocked by everyone, Sia was forced to play Blue Whale Challenge and end up her life. Keep hearing to know what happens next. So, let's get started. Friends, maybe. From the last 50 days, Apurva was desperately trying to talk to Amira. He had been following her, but she never noticed him. They were at the college gate, and Apurva was talking about his love being ignored to Ritvik. And after having quite a discussion, they grabbed their bag and left. They usually were at home at this time, but that night they were busy playing Counter Strike, and soon enough they realized that it was already late. As soon as Apurva stepped out of the snack shop, he saw a figure on the terrace, standing dangerously close to the edge. Seeing someone trying to commit suicide, they ran towards terrace. Apurva sped up as he climbed the stairs. Apurva realized that it was a girl on the terrace, and Ritvik got terrified as he realized who the girl was. He started to apologize, but Sia didn't respond. Ritvik's words made her step down from the edge. Sia asked him why was he sorry. So he then explained that he had no bad intention behind that drawing that he had made. Soon enough, Apurva picked a letter on the floor and started reading it. Sia tried to snatch it, but Apurva refused to let it go. Sia screamed at him, but he made her quiet with his stern look and began reading. In the letter, Sia wrote about herself and how she was forced by the curator to play the game. She said about how the game could put anyone in grave danger. At last, she had written how everyone made fun of her, but she tried to be strong and finally just couldn't take it anymore. Apurva read the paper and tore the piece of paper to shreds. Sia was shaken and was shivering so much that she could hardly stand. Apurva took her by the shoulder and helped her sit down. Apurva felt what she was going through by a single look in her eyes. Apurva took her phone, deleted all the apps and her Gmail account, and smashed it with the iron rod. He then assured Sia that it was the only way to get rid of Curator and the Blue Whale. Apurva then said that her name was not carbs just because she had carbs. Similarly, she was not fat just because she had extra fat. It was the first time someone had actually made an effort to make her smile. Sia felt happy and she ensured them that she wouldn't jump again. Apurva said that every word that he told her, he really meant them and she was much more beautiful than she ever could be. He said her not to let others control her life. With every minute she spent with Apurva, she realized her worth. Ritvik then warned about how late it was and it would be better if the three of them go from there. In these couple hours, Sia had experienced a lot and within no time she felt comfortable with Apurva. Once they were off campus, Ritvik urged Apurva to drop Sia home on his Vespa. On the way home, Apurva made her to promise that she would attend college regularly and she told him that she would buy him coffee in the canteen. They spent their entire time talking and Apurva gave his number. As soon as Sia reached home, she texted Apurva from her mom's mobile expressing her gratitude for his kind words. Apurva motivated her by his words and thus a new friendship began. Sia made sure that she had deleted the chat before going to bed. When she woke up, it felt like a new morning. She felt different in a good way. Nothing had changed, but she accepted her body wholeheartedly. As promised, Apurva was waiting for Sia near the college gate. As she was walking in the corridors, she could feel every eye staring at her. Sensing her discomfort, Apurva held her hand, but she pulled it back because she knew that he would be mocked about it. But Apurva held it back, and fear on her face was replaced with a blushing smile. They sat at the table having coffee and talked about their early life. Sia asked Apurva about his love life and he answered it funnily. They spent next few hours talking to each other. Later she confessed that she wanted to be a fashion designer and he said that he wanted to be an engineer. Apurva says that Sia had very beautiful voice and he asks her to register for the college play. Apurva shows her his writings that he had written and Sia appreciates his way of thinking and his approach to life. Sia knew that she was not as good as him, but she also knew that his friendship would end up meaning a lot to her. Like the sea, she was profound, and Apurva, the sailor, watched her reveal herself bit by bit. Sip, sip, hooray. Apurva wrote a complete paragraph expressing his feelings about Amira on his notepad as he waited on the street to be able to see her. He hoped one day she would notice him and start a conversation, but he felt like he had to wait for an eternity. Finally, he gathered all his courage to talk to her. As soon as she came in front of him, his tiredness faded away. He greeted her, but she didn't notice him as she had her earphones plugged in. He greeted her again, but this time he made sure that he was loud enough for her to hear. She removed her headphone and looked at Apurva with an angry look on her face. Apurva asked her direction towards Starbucks, giving her reason that his friend was waiting for him at Starbucks and as he had no data on his phone, he was unable to use Google Maps. Amira said to go straight and take a left. He said thank you and she smiled and left the place. On the same day, there was a freshers party at the evening and Apurva hoped that he could get a chance to interact with Amira there. He wanted to look perfect, so he waited for his dad to leave for his shift and grabs his shaving kit. He follows the same steps that he had learned from YouTube videos teaching him all about shaving. While shaving, he cuts himself and it made a gash on his face. After being forced by Ritvik and Sia to attend the party, Apurva finally reaches college where he finds Ritvik and Sia waiting for him. Looking at Apurva's face, Ritvik starts laughing and this continued until they reached the party. Stage was set and everyone were grooving to the tunes of the DJ. Very soon, Ritvik told Sia and Apurva that Amira was made Miss Fresher. Listening to this, Apurva felt that now his chances were completely zero. Looking at the sadness on Apurva's face, Ritvik showed him 5 thumbs-up bottles and said that they were filled with whiskey. Apurva denied to drink as he had never tried before, responding to which Ritvik said it was his first time too. Sia tries to stop them, but they had already made up their mind. One after the other, they drank 3 bottles. When Amira saw Sia standing behind Apurva, she waved her hand and started walking towards them. Apurva felt it was a dream for her to talk to him, but when she reached there, she started talking to Sia. Apurva stood there quietly watching them talking. As soon as Sia introduced Apurva to Amira, Apurva proposed Amira and kept on saying that he loved her and continued to babble. Sia was embarrassed and she said Amira that he was drunk. Amira walked away without reacting. Very soon, Apurva challenged Sia to drink and accepting his challenge, Sia took a bottle out of the bag and chugged it in one go. After drinking, she felt completely different and she had lost control on all her actions. She even accepted Apurva's dare to go on stage and talk about everyone who had insulted her. She felt like she had superpowers as she walked towards stage. She snatched the mic from the host and unplugged the speakers to stop the music. Ritvik and Apurva stood watching her. Sia exploded and said to all the people who had passed comments on her were shit and told them to talk to her middle finger. As soon as she got off the stage, all 3 of them ran away from the campus. They weren't aware of anything that they had done that evening. They all had got drunk for the first time and Sia had kicked the balls of her bullies publicly. Sometimes you meet people and it's clear that you belong together. Some people come into your life and make you feel alive. For Sia, it was Apurva. The girl who had no reason to live had not only attacked her haters but also had broken rules by drinking on the campus. And all of this just within a week of their friendship. Thank you for hearing us. Make sure you subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for latest upcoming videos. Thank you.